That is when you provide a package name, means when you provide a base package name, whenever you provide a base package name, then automatically Spring will start what? Scanning that base package. Also will scan what its sub packages to identify the Spring Bean components and registers those Bean components with the Spring application context. Right. So the beans which are managed by Spring IOC container, means a Spring container, are registered with the container first. So normally we no need of registering. I repeat, we no need to register the beans explicitly in the Spring container. The beans which are registered in container are managed by the container. Nothing but the container will manage its object lifecycle. So without writing or without manually registering the Spring beans with the container, the Spring itself will register them by using a feature called components auto scanning feature. To enable this components auto scan feature, at a configuration class level, we have to add annotation called at component scan. And this annotation we are adding at the configuration class level. So when we write at a component scan annotation, we have an element to this annotation, that is base packages element. And this base packages is equal to what we write. We are going to write some package name here. Say for example, if we write base package name is com, if I write, now this, now the Spring is going to scan this, not only this package with the name com, it is also going to scan all the sub packages of it. Suppose I have packages in my application like example com.project dot controller. Say for example com.project dot repository. Say for example com.project, okay, dot service, something like, okay, com.project dot TTO, something like. So what are all these now? These are all sub packages of com. Now the Spring is going to scan not only this one, it will start from com and will enter into all its sub packages also, and it will scan for the components. We'll identify the bean components using component annotation at a class level. That is at the rate component annotation, which is called a pseudo type annotation, right? It indicates that it's a bean component. So it is going to scan for the component and it will register it in the Spring container. Right. So suppose if I provide com.pack, com.project. Now it is, now the Spring will start scanning, will start for the components auto scanning. We'll start this components auto scanning from com.project package and will enter into all its sub packages to register, to first of all identify the components and then registers them with the Spring container. So that is a components auto scan feature which automatically definitely will reduce the burden on the programmer, because manually we no need to register our Spring beans with the IOC container. That is called components auto scanning feature. So at where we write this annotation is at the configuration class level. We will write this annotation at what? Configuration class level. So let us see. We are writing this annotation at the configuration class level. So a configuration class, Java configuration class, we can write using annotation called at configuration. Now this stereotype annotation indicates that this class is a Java configuration class. Next, we also used an annotation called what? At component scan. And the element of this annotation is the base packages element. Base packages is equal to you can understand here. We can also provide multiple base packages names as an array of strings. You can also provide multiple base packages names as an array of strings. So hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. Hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. Right. Everyone? Everybody? We can also provide multiple base packages names here. How? I can provide multiple base packages names as an array of strings. See, for example, let's start with curly braces. I can provide what? I can provide com.project, comma, org.rnits. If you look at this, I'm able to provide two base package names here. See, org.rnits is a one base package and com.project is one more base package. Now the Spring is going to scan for the components in both the base packages, including sub packages like a com.project sub packages and the org.rnits sub packages. So we can also we can able to provide multiple base packages using annotation called what? At the rate component scan. Okay, na? At the rate component scan. So I can able to write one Java configuration class here. Java configuration class means what I write? Public say class, some class to write here. Let me write something like app config, and I can, I can define if any bean methods are. I can define if any bean methods are required. So if you look at everyone, this is the configuration class. This is a component scan feature facility. Next, multiple base package names can be provided. Next, one more thing. When you are writing application, as you know that in an application, we can able to define one or multiple resource bundles. Resource bundles are nothing but what? Properties files. I repeat, you have one or multiple resource bundles, which are also called what? Properties files. Okay, everybody. Dot star is not required. No, it is not com.project dot star. No dot star, only com.project. Okay, dot star is not required. Only base package name. Let's move on. See here. See here, everyone. An application can have, we can define the application properties externally in a properties file. So we can externalize the application properties into a properties file. Properties files are also called what? Resource bundles. The extension is a dot properties, right? Extension is what? Dot properties. I repeat. Extension is what? Dot properties. Now this is called as properties file, which is also called a resource bundle. What we define in properties file? In properties files, we are going to define key equals to value pairs. Okay, we are externalizing the configuration properties of an application into a properties file. Okay, of course, you can define one or multiple properties files, not only a single one. You can define one or multiple properties files. So when there are some properties files defined, okay, when we define some properties files to configure application properties, then these properties also must be loaded. These properties must be loaded. Remember, these properties, to load all the properties from the external properties files, then we need to add an annotation. At property source. I repeat, the annotation name is what? At property source. Now this annotation also we are going to add at the class level only. I repeat, this annotation we write at the class level only. Annotation name is at property source. And to this annotation, we can provide either one or multiple properties files as a value. Right. Say for example, assume that only just as example. Say for example, we have something like the properties files names like assume that one properties file name is sql.properties. Say other properties file name is a NoSQL.properties. Are clear? What I have two properties files here. Assume that here I written some properties in one file and some properties in other file. Okay, just assume that. Then to load this, the configuration properties, okay, to load these configuration properties from the external files into Spring application context, there is one annotation called at property source. And this annotation also we add at the class level. So means what I'm going to do now, I will add annotations like this now. At configuration indicates what? This class is a Java configuration class. Next annotation is what? At component scan. what we write, base packages is equal to, so you can provide one or multiple. Suppose if you are providing a single package name, then curly braces are, it's a single string, so single string doesn't require curly braces, it's optional. When you are writing multiple strings, then enclose them within curly braces, right? So component scan base packages is equal to, let me say for example, com dot project. What is the next annotation? At property source. What I'll let in at property source? I will write. Suppose if more than one value is there, then enclose those strings within curly braces. Right. So, at property source has a value element. Annotations contains elements that are also called attributes of the annotation. At property source, value is equal to, if there is a single properties file to be loaded, then I can use only a string. Say for example, SQL dot properties. But if there are more than one properties files to be loaded, then use enclose them within curly braces. Curly brace dot SQL dot properties, comma, no SQL dot properties. Something like, just for example, I have taken a name like this. For example, I have taken a name like this. SQL dot properties, comma, no SQL dot properties. Okay. One more thing, everyone. If an annotation has a value element, see here I am writing annotation with a single element, right? But the single element of this annotation is value. I am writing annotation with only one element, and that element name is value. Try to understand this. If you are writing an annotation with only one element, and if that element name is value, then you can omit the element name. Means it, you can avoid writing that element name also. Which means I no need of writing this value is equal to. Okay, right? When it is optional, you remember this point. What? When you are writing you are writing what? Annotation with a single element. With only one element you are writing, and if that element name is value, then you can omit or you can avoid writing that element name. So now this is also valid. For example, I'll explain, of course. First, let me complete here. So what I can add here, public class, and I can add some class name. Say, for example, class name is app config, and I can define some bean methods required. I can close it. Right, sir. So once again, I repeat, look at this. Say, for example, assume that suppose I'm writing a simple service, just one service class I'm writing like this. For example, at service. Example, public class, say something, some class I have. For example, file import service, file import service IMPL. which implements file import service interface in my project. Okay. Now this is one stereotype annotation, right? When I write at service annotation, it is including what? Clear. When I write at service annotation, I repeat, when I write at service annotation, it is indicating that this is a component because service annotation derived from component annotation only. So then again, there is no need of writing at the rate component annotation. Am I right or not? Right? At the rate component annotation is not required because at the rate service annotation is derived from at the rate component only. So this is indicating that this component, this Spring Bean component works in service layer of the application. It belongs to service layer of the project. Okay, now? Okay, good. Now, in components auto scan feature, suppose it is in some package like a com.project.service.impl package. Say, for example, the package name also I'm writing just to give you some clarity. To give you some clarity, let me write that a package statement also. Say, for example, I would like to write the package statement also. Say, it is in a package. Say com.project.service.impl. So assume that it's a package statement. com.project.service.impl is a package statement. So everyone, you try to understand now. It is in so-and-so package now. What I'm trying to tell, when this components auto scan feature is enabled, with the base package name is com.project, then obviously the Spring will scan this com project service.impl also. It is a sub package of com.project only. And because there is a stereotype annotation present at the class level, now the Spring is going to see this annotation at class level. Service is a component. So it is going to register this. It is going to register this class as a bean in the Spring container. Will register this as a Spring bean in the container. By default, it is going to register with class name as ID. Because a bean is registered in container with an ID. And that ID is an identification for the bean in container. Maybe sometimes if you want to get a bean from container, if you want to read a bean from container, we have a method called get bean. That get bean method, you can call by passing its a bean ID as a parameter. I mean, bean ID as a string parameter to read the Spring bean from the container, right? So a bean in container will be registered with an ID, and that is going to be a unique ID. Means two beans cannot be registered with the same ID. As you know that. As you know that. Okay. Right. So these are all will be important to understand our next in the sessions of boot and microservices. So here my point is, now this bean is registered with an ID as what? File import service IMPL with F in lowercase, right? First letter in lowercase, I mean. With the first letter in lowercase, it is registered. Now this bean is registered in container with an ID, file import service IMPL. With F in lowercase, file import service IMPL. But my requirement is I would like to register this bean in the Spring container with an ID, not file import service IMPL. I just want to register it with ID, F service. So then what can I do now? I can pass the bean ID as a value to the service annotation, means to the stereotype annotation. So what can I write now? At service of, now this annotation has an element called value. Annotations contains elements, they are also called attributes. Value equal to F service. One thing. Now again look at this. Here I am writing this annotation at class level. I am writing this annotation. I am writing here the annotation with a only one element, and that one element is value. And the point to understand here is what, when you write, okay, when you write an annotation with what, only one element, and if that element name is value, then you can avoid writing that element name. It is optional. It is optional, means not mandatory. So means the same thing I can write like this. What can I write now? Simply, I can avoid this value. I can simply write F service. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, what can I write now? Directly F service. Right. My question, have you understood, everyone? Okay. Have you understood, everyone? Good. Okay, sir. Nice, nice. Good. Good, sir. That's the reason why I'm not writing value, element name value here. It is going to be, it is applied at many places. Even we have discussed about at qualifier annotation. At qualifier annotation can be used to provide a bean ID when there is an ambiguity. To resolve ambiguity, at qualifier annotation will be used, and what? We are providing what? The bean ID. At qualifier annotation also contains value element. If you are writing annotation with only one element, and if that element name is option, if that element name is a value, then you can avoid writing that element name. That's all. But suppose if you take a component scan annotation, I cannot avoid writing this base packages is equal to, I cannot avoid. I cannot avoid this element name. I cannot avoid this. Now this is going to give me an error. Why? Because this annotation has, this annotation doesn't have value element. It has base packages element. The element name is not a value, it is base packages. So that is the reason why you must add that element name here. Base packages is equal to. Okay. Right. Here property source annotation has a value element. So here I am writing annotation with only one element. Element name is value. So when, if you're writing annotation with only one element, if that element name is value, then you can avoid writing this. That's the difference. Okay. Right. So as I said yesterday, everyone, these are very commonly used annotations: configuration, component scan, property source. When you come to in Spring Boot, we have annotation called @Spring Boot application. That is a combination of configuration, at component scan, at enable auto configuration, combinedly given as a single annotation, that is called @Spring Boot application. Of course, in Spring Boot, I'm going to actually, that is the reason why I started, giving some basics first. I started giving some basics first so that I'll give you an excellent subject on the Spring Boot and microservices, right? So that session we don't compromise on the subject in Spring Boot and microservices, right? Right. I generally feel if anybody is not attending or not learning the Spring Boot and my microservices from session, I feel that he is an unfortunate student. Right. So I definitely provide you an excellent subject on the Spring Boot and microservices. There is no doubt in that. But I have to explain some basics first so that you are going to become more confident. It becomes you know um, like everyone to understand, for those people who already know about it and some people who are having some doubt on that. So I just want to clarify all so that you can understand the boot and microservices perfectly, right? Okay, so let's start with today. In configuration class, what we read, somebody is asking about at configuration annotation. I will tell you, boss, at configuration annotation is a stereotype annotation to indicate that this class is a Java configuration class. Stereotype annotations will mark, for example, at service you are writing means what? It is marking service layer class. So now this class is a Java configuration class. Java configuration classes are loaded while instantiating, otherwise we will let us say initializing anything, are loaded while instantiating application context object. Application context is a Spring IOC container object. Just it is marking that this is a configuration class. Like that, one application can have multiple configuration classes. One application can have multiple configuration classes. Right. Of course, let me tell you once again. Remember this point. In one application, we can define multiple configuration classes. Say, for instance, example, when we are going to write the security applications in using Spring Boot and Spring MVC. So there we are going to see a configuration class at configuration. Remaining annotations I'm not writing. Okay, for example, public class. Okay, say for example, authorization server configuration. Something error here. It, of course, it extends to some other class, authorization server configure adapter. So those things will come next. Next, again, I am writing at configuration in single application only. Public class. Say for example, resource server configuration. So here I'm writing like authorization server configuration, resource server configuration, the classes like this. So how many configuration class I'm writing in same application two now? At configuration. So finally, what are you understanding? One application can have multiple configuration classes. Okay, remember that point. Next, coming to uh, in configuration class again, within configuration class, we are going to create or write bean methods. Uh, See, for example, if you are writing an XML file, we used to write a bean tag Of course, probably we write ID attribute for the bean, class attribute in XML. Of course, now the application doesn't have XML files. Okay, use bean tag to configure a bean in XML. So how you are writing a bean tag in XML to define to configure a bean, to define the configuration of a bean. So when you come to configuration class, in configuration class, you are going to write bean method. Okay, you are going to write a bean method. Bean method means you are writing a method. You are just writing a method and you're adding annotation at that method level, that is bean. So how you write in XML a bean configuration using bean tag? In configuration class, we use a bean method to register a bean in the container. In component scan, automatically beans are registered. Apart from that, if you want to register any beans explicitly, then you just create a bean method. Apart from that, you want to register if you want to register any beans explicitly, then you can create a bean method to register a bean in the Spring container, to register a bean in the container. I repeat my statement to understand it clearly. See, I will explain. Right. Everybody, I'll try to explain. Everyone. So let me remove. So remember how you are writing a bean tag in XML file to configure a Spring Bean. In configuration class, you are creating a bean method for that. Both are same. So I'm writing a configuration class. I'm writing a configuration class. Right. So as you are aware, in component scan, Spring will register the beans in container, means in application context, if they have component at the class level, means if they have a stereotype annotation at the class level. I mean, service or controller or a REST controller or repository, these are all stereotype annotation. These are all derived from component only. Means they are all called components only, service component, repository component, controller component, like that. Right. Suppose if stereotype annotation is not provided at the class level, means at the class level, if there is no component annotation, then the Spring will not register that bean in the container in auto scanning. Right. I repeat the point here. Here I would like to explain that sometimes some beans we want register. Okay, some beans we want to register explicitly in the container. Right. Suppose in my application, I would like to use a bean, means a class that is from Spring API. I would like to register in the Spring container now. This is from Spring API. So if any classes that I want to use that are from Spring API, I have to register them as beans in the Spring container. It is not from my package. It is not available in my package. It is from Spring API. Say, for example, I'm writing, look at this. Suppose I'm writing some bean I'm writing, of course. Look at this point, everyone. So, you have to understand the minute point here. To understand writing at the rate bean means the bean method, right? Everyone, listen to me now. I would like to write like this. See, for example, package. So you have to understand the point here. I'll try to give an example. Package. See, say com dot. Say, for example, client. This is my package name, com dot client. Public. Say something at component or something like simply at component or at service, doesn't matter. Public class API client is my class name. And here I'm writing at auto void. Say, for example, REST template. REST template. Some code goes on. See, here my class API client, actually my class API client now depends on this REST template. Okay. So the thing is, when I enable component scan and com.client, then Spring automatically registers this API client as a bean in Spring container because I have component annotation at the class level. Now it depends on REST template, but I would like to tell you this REST template is a class from Spring API. Now it is not in my package of com.client or in any some other sub package. This REST template, now my API client is a bean, which depends on a bean from Spring API. So when I enable component scan and com.client, the API client bean will be registered, but REST template bean is not registered in the container because REST template is not coming from com.client package or not in its sub packages. It is coming from Spring API. So then what should I do now? I have to register REST template bean in Spring container. So how can I achieve this? By creating a bean method. So how I'm going to write my configuration class? You look at this. Now I am going to write my configuration class like this. How I'm writing at configuration. Right. Say at component scan. Base packages equals to say com.client public class some app config. And here I am writing bean method. Look at this. At bean, public, rest template. Here bean method name can be any name. Say for example, R template. Something doesn't matter. R template or something like. Or RT is a method. Doesn't matter. RT. Suppose a return new rich template. So when you look at this, see why I explicitly defined a bean method in configuration class to register REST template, because REST template is a class from Spring API which doesn't come or which doesn't exist in com.client or any of its sub packages. It doesn't exist. Now in my package like com.client or com.client.service or com.client.repository, it doesn't exist anywhere. It is from Spring API. So means my requirement is what I have to register a bean means a class coming from Spring API into Spring container. So how can I achieve this? I can achieve this by creating a bean method in a configuration class. So how can I create a bean method? It can just add this annotation at method level at bean. So when configuration class is loaded, all the bean methods defined in the configuration class are executed automatically, immediately. Whenever a configuration class is loaded into application context, automatically, first of all the bean methods means all the bean methods defined in configuration class are got executed. So whenever automatically, so whenever this bean method is executed, now this bean method returns a REST template object, and that object will be registered in the Spring container. So how can I register a bean explicitly in the Spring container in a configuration class? By defining a bean method. And with which ID it is registered? By default, it is registered with a method name as ID. By default, it is registered with a method name as ID. The method name is RT. It is registered with the name RT. No, you want to change it. Then you can pass the name which you would like to register your bean in the container to the bean annotation. Right, to the bean annotation. How can I do that? I can achieve this at the rate bean of. I can achieve this at the rate bean of. I can pass at the rate bean of. What I can pass here? Name is equal to bean annotation as a name element and value element. Both are there. I can add value element or name element. I'm writing name now. Say name is equal to, say for example, R template. I hope you are getting now easily. Okay. Right now this REST template object is registered in container with ID R template. Okay. So this is the point, like how we create a bean method. Like that, if any beans that you want to register in container explicitly, then in configuration class, you define bean methods. In configuration class, you define what? Bean methods. To register a bean explicitly, you write in configuration class bean methods. Now the annotation name is @bean. Right, okay. Right. So I would like to, okay, I would like to explain you next one more thing. Qualifier is there and primary annotation is there. Somebody I think yesterday asked about a question like what is difference we got between primary annotation and qualifier annotation. Okay. I'll tell you. Okay, I will tell you. The difference between them. Okay. As I said, yeah, somebody Pawan has asked a question. I repeat you once again. You can register a bean multiple times in Spring Container. The only thing, they must be registered with different IDs. That's all. I think you got answer. They must be registered with a different ID. That's all. We can register a bean for times, but ID should be unique. Right. Everyone. We are using. This is generally a question that also you are getting very frequently. That is at qualifier and at primary. Actually, for the time being, I'm not going into that, but I'll definitely explain you. We have one more session tomorrow to discuss. When see, as a developer, when you are writing the code itself, see, one is writing the code. Second thing is writing the configuration. Generally, writing the code comes first, writing the configuration comes last, right? Configuration will write at the end. But first we start writing all the classes. Means first we write the code, then we write the configuration. While writing the code only, if you know that there is an ambiguity is going to occur, then we are going to use qualifier annotation to resolve it. But see, when writing the configuration, suppose uh, you are finding that there is an ambiguity is going to occur, then we are going to use primary annotation. So this seems to be a bit high level statement, but of course I will take an example to explain it in a more proper to understand by everyone. Right. So see, first code comes, then configuration next. Code first, configuration last. While writing the code only, you know that there is an ambiguity is going to occur, then use qualifier to resolve it. And when writing the configuration, suppose if you came to know that ambiguity is going to occur, then use primary annotation to resolve it. Use a primary annotation to resolve it. So by taking an example, I will tell you about this qualifier in primary in the session, tomorrow session. Okay. And tomorrow, once this is explained to you, then I will start a little bit a boot, like why actually we are going for a Spring Boot and what really Spring Boot is. That basics I'll give you tomorrow. Okay. And so that from Monday onwards, the link will be changed to paid link, and the link becomes accessible only for the paid students. Right. Okay. So once a paid link started, then again I will take your opinion. Suppose if you are feeling that 6:30 to 7:30 means, again you have maybe your office work, or maybe you need to go to office or whatever it is. So if anybody is like incompatible with the timing, then again I'll take an opinion. Then we'll try to change again at 6 to 7. Otherwise 6:30 to 7, that whatever it is. So generally I need yeah, little bit more time. Then I will try to adjust the time. Okay, 6 to 7 or 7:15, 7:30, like that. Right. Okay. Okay. Everything will be, I repeat again, everything will be explained to you in the Spring Boot and microservices class. MVC flow, everything will be explained to you. Everything will be explained to you in the Spring Boot classes. Like for example, somebody is asking about MVC flow, that will come in in Spring Boot before I start with the Spring MVC. So yeah, in Spring MVC, I'm going to start with the MVC flow first, and a lot of things I'm going to give you. And actually, this 2 months session, if I want to complete in that, uh, generally what I will do is in weekends I'll try to plan a long sessions. In the weekends I'll plan for a long sessions, not in the first weekend only, but probably from that next weekend I'll try to plan at least a 3 to 4 hours session on a weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, or any one of the day like that. So in that way, I'm going to complete the session by without skipping anything uh, in this stipulated time. Okay, right. So when we start from the boot, as I said already, for every 2 3 topics, I'll provide you the mm, a soft copy to refer the notes, and applications you are going to see, and small applications, some runtime points you can write. So once from the next session starts, what you have to do is you have to write some running points by yourself. A soft copy I will provide, but these running points will help you to recollect immediately. And applications are shared through Drive, or I will provide you some uh, URL. From that you can download the applications. Right, okay. The session will start again tomorrow at 6:30.